Hello, my beautiful viewers out there. I hope that you are doing well and that you are feeling like $1 million and that you are feeling that you can do anything. So I am truly excited. Today, I'm going to hand over to another host that's going to co-host for us. And I will also be here with my sparkles, but my sparkles is a little bit off. I was sick since yesterday, and I'm so truly thankful that I can give it over to Howard to host our session. My beautiful Howard, all over to you.
Thank you, Sinette. Welcome to the author journey. It's a Diamond author journey, episode number 9. And I am absolutely thrilled to co host and host with you. But we will be featuring our global ambassador for life transformation and empowerment, human awareness, Laura Brennan Ballet. Laura, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Excited, even though we all hang out as a family, it's still so cool to be on both sides, right, of the panel, whether we're interviewing or being interviewed. It's all around the love of writing and storytelling. So I'm excited.
Well, that's just excellent. Let me introduce who else is with us today and our lovely Krista Rose. How are you today? Welcome.
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so excited to be here. I was going to do anything to make sure I was here. I love Laura's message and her presence, and I think we have a lot in common. And yeah, us as a family. So I'm doing fantastic.
Well, tell us your book title and your tagline, and anything else as your
Yeah.
intro.
Yeah, so I made Amazon #1 bestseller for my book, Skip the Pain, Experience a Pleasure. And my tagline is cut the crap that's holding you back so you can live the life you love. Because I want you to be authentic, people. And that's really what we want to do. We want to live. We want to live the life we love.
You
Gotta
notice that
believe.
when we're shining, we put on our glasses because we have to just beam it all over the world as we are today. So thank you, Krista. Oh my God, we will cut the crap. So let me also ask and again, we have some nicknames, so we'll fill you in. But Sinette Membretta is my dancing queen, and she is the caterpillar turned butterfly. Beautiful flight of the monarch. Please introduce yourself and tell us more.
Oh, wow. Thank you, my miracle man. So, Howard is my miracle man. Thank you, my beautiful Howard. So, my beautiful ones, I am the voice amplifier. I create space and stages for incredible humans to come and share their wisdom, their brilliance, and their transformative stories on all my platforms, the TV shows or the magazine. So I'm truly so thankful to be here. And this was a pilot that we all started. Can you believe it? We started in March with this.
It's
We did
awesome.
2 months of pilot shows, and then the network approved, and now we are in episode 9. And Laura, you are our special guest. So thank you so much, my miracle man. Over to you.
Yes, so I will introduce myself. This is an amazing program because we dig detail. We go behind the curtain of what it is after your publication, and if you want to be an author, we talk about that too. And we bring on every week. We bring on a guest, and if you want to be a guest, contact Sinette because we have spots for you. We want to dig deep into your book and into your life and how you lift up others. So I am Howard Brown, Mr. Shining Brightly, right? And so I am an author, inspirational podcaster, and award winning speaker. And we all get knocked down in life and in business and in health and in relationships. We must get back up again and shine our light to lift up others. And so I'm the best selling author of Shining Brightly. And I'm so excited to be here today because the spotlight is on you, Laura. So please introduce yourself to our listeners and our people watching.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. It's so funny. I always get into this space and I can hear Sinette like telling me to talk about myself because I really just want to shine the light on everyone else. But of course, Laura Brennan Ballet, I really focus on thought energy. And I do this from written energy because we are all writers. Whether we publish a book or not, we are writers, we are creators of our story. And I think that there is so much energy behind words and the way we put them together and the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that we tell one another. But for those of us that take that beautiful, empowering journey to write a book, or many of us, we collaborate and we have second and third books coming out, there's just something unique about sharing wisdom and insight and passion and how it has this beautiful effect on the readership. So I love it. But ICF and ACA accredited. I'm also a courageous leadership head coach for Ziello Studio. I do global speaking, all of what you can imagine. But I really am here just to enjoy the questions and the interaction and the conversations that we're all going to create together. And hopefully, it will inspire others that have that book sitting inside of them. And this beautiful TV show and this platform that Sinette and this panel has created, that when they hear it, they will begin to put pen to paper or fingertips to the keyboard, and they will be our future guest on this amazing show. So thank you.
We're so glad to have you. And I have to tell you, I just came off of a week of promoting your podcast guest spot on the Shiny Brightly show. And oh my goodness, just you're helping people. You are helping people transform to live an empowered life. And I love that you do that every day. So I'd like to actually give the honor of our first question from our panel to Sinette. And you would start us off. That would be just lovely.
Thank you, my miracle man. My beautiful Laura, can you tell us what motivates you to have written this amazing book?
Yeah, thank you. So motivation, right, is a word that we hear around the globe often, but there is really a heartfelt story here. My brother Christopher, and I always give a heartfelt acknowledgement to him. He's a former USA gymnastics coach, and he's worked with Olympians and champions all over the world. And I've watched him create a mindset formula that really activated human potential. But he did it at this very high level. And I was so curious what would happen if a regular person wanted to become a champion, an Olympic champion, the energy of that feeling, the discipline, and the motivation needed to get there. What would it look like? So I started taking a little bit of what he would say, how he would talk about it. He opened up a neuromuscular training facility here where I started coaching under his tutelage. But I really wanted to apply this energy through mindset to motivate people that came in to maybe heal their bodies, get a little bit stronger, gain a little bit of mobility and flexibility. But for me, it all starts in the mind. So I was very motivated to find a pathway to support others to look at mind body consciousness elevation differently than what we have been used to. So it wasn't just read a book and get motivated. It wasn't just listen to a podcast and get motivated. It wasn't just showing at the gym, showing up and getting motivated. It was this beautiful synergy of how it all can come together. And so for me, motivation really came through wanting to tune into my own personal potential so I could authentically then motivate others to tune in or tap in or align to their greatness. So I was motivated from my brother and from the work he was doing, but I wanted to really bring it to everyday people like me, a mom, a kid, a sister, a brother, just a normal person that has the opportunity to read material, listen to a podcast, and get something really valuable out of it. So I sat down to write the book, and 5 years later, it just was just a beautiful journey. Lots of work and compromise and sacrifice, but never without passion, and never felt like a burden. It was really a beautiful experience.
Wow. I
So thank you.
remember clearly, thank you, my beautiful Laura, for that. I remember clearly when we had our coffee, a chat, you told me about how your brother have motivated you to do this for us, the normal people.
Yeah.
Um, and then I just thought I really need you to share that because that's truly beautiful. Thank you, my beautiful Howard.
Yeah, that was such an eloquent answer to your motivation. But I'm watching the Olympics, the whole world is, and these are extraordinary people that they don't have any idea the time that they put in to be able to, uh, just polish their craft and their stamina and their energy and their diet and their psyche goes into it. So when I watch the Olympians do these amazing things, you don't think about that, but everyone can be their own Olympian. Everyone can be, and that's what your book says. Krista,
Yeah.
I'd love for you to jump in now. I know you've bouncing with questions for Laura.
Yes, I mean, we can speak all day. So, first of all, I just wanted to point out I am wearing green, maybe not the right shade, but on purpose because I know kind of green is this color. And I just want to also tell the listeners to check out your YouTube channel. I
Oh,
went onto it and was looking through it and really kind of it didn't necessarily entertain me, but it kept me engaged and I learned a lot about it. So I just wanted to point those two things out, as well as so going through and I don't know if you want me to list them, the five
yeah, the
I'm
principal.
not sure if it's the five principles, if it's a secret or not.
No.
The five principles, it's not secret. Oh,
No, it's not a
okay.
secret. Like when you read the book, you'll learn about them, but I do talk about them. I don't go into
Yes,
great detail because
yes.
you need a lot more time, but yeah,
Yes,
it's
yeah. So, yeah, so what they are is authenticity, happiness, avoid negativity, allow your brilliance, and know your power. And my biggest question is because I also know you do some coaching, when you speak with people, what's one of these five that is one of the biggest challenges for someone to get over?
right. So great question, but I just need to clarify something. The very essence of the five Jekyll principles, which is the formula to the science of empowerment, is different than those principles. With knowing that you probably were connecting to the YouTube channel, there's so much information that is around mind development on that channel. So it's very easy to kind of move them through. But if you do get the book and you look at it, it will say right on the cover, J3 equals E. So just to clarify for the audience, the J stands for Jekyll, Jekl, and that's an acronym that my brother created, and that represents the people most closest to him. The first person that tried the program, my cousin, who's like his blood brother. I'm the L in Jekyll. There is a halo above and below that represents my family. So it's a very again, a heartfelt family, I want to say project in a way, but the five principles are awareness, willingness, accountability, critical thinking, and energy. And when you move through all of those principles, and then you position yourself into the power seat of choice of energy, this is how you begin to create a very empowered life. So when you're aware of something, when you're willing to do something about it, when you stop blaming others and you take full accountability, and we're not saying dismiss when someone is, let's say, in accountable energy to something that they did against someone. So we're not dismissing, abuse and challenging situations. But when we make that decision through the awareness and the willingness to begin to elevate our experiences, that accountability begins to really empower us to make different changes. And then we go into the fourth principle, which is critical thinking. And I really love this. This is a powerhouse of a principle. It doesn't tell you to become non emotional. It gives you this beautiful space to really exercise your personal brilliance, your genius, to start thinking from a higher level, whether it's wisdom, education, whether it's gathered insight from people that write books, from people who produce beautiful TV shows and amazing podcasts. Really start to think with critical thought. Now, this moves us into the field of energy. Which one am I, negative, positive, or neutral? And when you apply that J3 equals E formula to everything you do and all experiences, especially the challenging ones, you begin to move through it very quickly. And then you really adapt to this desire to, with full intention, position yourself in the neutral to positive. So the negative experiences start to have less hold on you. So I'm not sure if that exactly answers, but we'll come around again if it didn't. But really, this very empowering formula is simplistic yet impactful. Anyone can do it. We have literally 6 and 7 and 10-year-old kids that come in. It's the first thing they learn. It's the way that they enter into what we call the cage. That's where our whole facility is set up. And it's amazing. They understand that I call it girl power for the little ones, boy power for the little boys, but they know I can position, and they use that word, myself into choosing which energy do I want to be. And they really learn how to do that through the five principles.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. And I love the way you not only outlined it, but how you explain it, so thoroughly, not only to us adults, but to kids and children who are just little people, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's really important, if I may say quickly, Howard, that we, the adults in the room really need to understand and learn, right, about this human potential and the way that they can elevate their own mindset and how they can recalibrate patterns so that we do not create the very challenge for our kids. And when you empower our youth, and again, authentically, I've done this. I work with them weekly. Still, I'm a coach over there, and it's amazing. They're so ready to be empowered little humans, and they really understand it differently than even we do as adults. We tend to get very tarnished in our life's experiences. Children aren't. They're raw. They connect, whether it's to God energy, universal energy, divinity. They're natural, almost like power sources of truth and of authenticity until we kind of mess them up. So I really love bringing this formula into environments, speaking with our youth, because they get it, and it's quite amazing when they understand a little bit of the principles and how they can choose one of them, even during school, during sports practice, when I have to do homework, when my parents want me to do chores. It's quite amazing how it works. So it's a very well-rounded mind development coaching process. It's the same thing for the book, and for speaking. It's I love it. Sometimes I wish I didn't create it because I would be talking about it even more. It's a little awkward when you're the author, of course, and you're the creator of it. But it's really something that I've witnessed that has helped people prevent suicide. It's helped substance, alcohol abuse. It's really helped empower people through divorces, and ailments, and really long standing challenges, when they understand that I'm an energy being, I'm an energy source, and I absolutely have authority over myself to choose how I continue to move through my life. It is my decision, and I can empower myself through the choice. Thank you.
You're getting a wow because you are so articulate and such a subject matter expert. But we have to shine back to you. You mentioned girl power and boy power, and I just want to take a quick second and just welcome and shout out to the Diamond Beauties Network, the worldwide network that Sinette created, the Tanzanite heroes, the men around the world. You have just built such an amazing community of heart-centered, beautiful souls and shining diamonds. And that, so I want to give a big shout out to them because they will be watching and they will be contributing to us, and we owe that to you. So you've dovetailed a little bit into how you can actually heal. Okay. And so this is a little bit of a two-parter, is that how can we heal in order to create this empowered life? And you use something in the book that I want you to detail, because how do we become architects of higher thinking?
Yeah.
That's something that I sat there, and when I read that in the chapter, I just pondered that. And you go on to tell us, but I now tell us, a version of that.
Yeah, I love this. I don't, the process of writing is so creative. And I think as writers and storytellers and authors, we pull on such various, um, I think, mentors and experiences that resonate somewhere in us. I love architecture, period. I think the beauty of whether it's a painting, whether it's a piece of furniture, whether it's a sculpture, I've really been quite obsessed with it since I was a kid, all the way back to the Sumerians, the Anunnakis in Egypt. Right? We can even look at the architecture around the symbolism of religion, right? So it's been something that's sat inside of the very essence of who I am. But when I was writing the book, I started to ask myself, because I wanted to be an architect, what happens if I became an engineer, a designer, right? A poet of language, of geometry, of mathematical formulation, whatever, however my brain was starting to calculate writing this book. But then I was like, what about the architect of thought? What would that look like if every step of the way, and I don't mean every single thought, that would be quite an arduous journey, but in general, if we started to take a step back and look at our thought processes in a way from the designing end of things, or the beginning of designing, how would we then choose our thinking? Would it be filled with beauty and inspiration? Would it be filled with just the kindest of words and the most beautiful vision, right? The lexicon, the way we speak, the way we express. Would it be harsh, right? Would it have like negative tonality to it? If you literally understood that you are the architect of your thinking, how would your thought processes now unfold? What would your thinking look like? What would it feel like? And would it be negative, neutral, or positive? And so we can all start to formulate this as we're listening. If you wake up in the morning and you're stressed out from the night before, and you're carrying that stress all through the dream state and the rejuvenation state, and you wake up right in negative thinking or stressful thinking, or as you said, if we're going through maybe an illness or we don't feel good or our energy is low, all of the thinking around it tends to mirror, right, the thought process. So now what happens if you could take a moment, lay in bed and catch your breath and remind yourself that it is your birthright to choose how you move through every single day. And we can do that by being the architect of our thinking. So today I'm going to design beautiful thinking. Even though I'm going through a challenge or an illness or a dis-ease or a stress, I am now going to create a whole new blueprint. And I'm going to do that through the power of my thought energy. And now I'm going to use thought energy to have a bit more directive over my, right, my immune system, my biology, my cellular makeup. Now I'm going to get to walk through my day feeling more in what I call authority, right? My autonomy is now working in synergy with how I'm thinking, how I'm moving, how I'm feeling. So I'm starting to empower all of the energy and the essence and the levels of what the human condition is bringing. But no one really can tell you how to think and how to feel. We kind of get hijacked into that, but no, you and you alone are the architect of how you choose to think. You are the designer, you are the engineer, however you want to look at it, through music, through dance, again, through mathematical formulation, through neuroscience, through actual experiences that we all have been through, illness, disease, coming out of it, surviving, thriving, shining brightly, creating an incredible platform, being a spokesperson for people who are going through, very challenging issues. There's such a beautiful way to use thought energy to empower oneself, thus empower all of the other people. And so for me, it's becoming an architect of thought energy and how we think. And you can do it. You can start designing your thought process in order to live an empowered life.
I want to have to tell you that you are so articulate. What show allows you to have the author bring their book to life in this manner? I mean, you're bringing the pages. I mean, I've now read your book twice. I've had you on my podcast, and
Yeah.
I'm now still learning from you. This is why this is such an important platform. And thank you for sharing that. And I just, we are in control with our thoughts and turning that written energy and really have the decision points to be able to, listen, it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to crawl up into a ball. I did it many times after chemotherapy. But
Me too.
listen, I just moved. I was having a rough day for about a rough week, but you know what? You wake up, you pick up, and today this is really such a blueprint for moving forward, and that's why I love it. And it's not that, even though it says the science of empowerment, the pages tell you instructionally, and your coaching tell you what to do. And it's not that you have a lot of content on YouTube. You have quality content, how-to content to do that. So I'm just so appreciative, because when we get to interview an author like this, we learn about their lives. We learned about how the Jekyll formula, and we actually get to hear the pages come alive. And that's what an author, and our friend Buddy, who's not here, shout out to Buddy today. He said, authors need to be able to write and authors need to be able to speak. And this is the speaking part of explaining what you put down and what you meant, and with true feeling. So thank you. Thank you for that. Sinette,
Oh,
this is
thank
now,
you.
I mean, it's incredible, really. So she's smiling and bubbling. I bet we always have like too many questions, but Sinette, you're up next. And what do you want to, where do you want to go from here?
So I just, my questions is in the teleprompter so that I can don't miss it. But now I don't know if you can see it, but I
No.
have now the first four questions she have already answered between Krista and you. So I'm going to ask you two questions. What is your forever song? So a
Oh,
forever song is something that is truly unique to you, and you can dance to your forever song every day. And then when you have told us your forever song, I am going to ask you the question because I don't think you've answered that one. So I hope I will not be asking a question that you have partly answered. What's your forever song, my beautiful Laura?
Yeah, so you and I, we both, the first time you asked me this, you connected to it. So it is The Power of Love by Jennifer Rush, but the beautiful Miss Celine Dion also has a version of it that is just exquisite. The reason why I love that song is, though it is about this beautiful exchange of love between a man and a woman, without loving oneself completely, authentically, there is no way you can have that high value exchange of love with another. Whether it's a husband, a wife, your partnership, friendships, your tribe, just humanity, you need to know what that is, that no matter what, that you will go there. You will go there on that personal journey so that you can actually exchange the energy was someone else, and manipulating it and contriving it and just making it all messy just doesn't do anymore. It's got to be this the power of love. Yeah, just
Power of love.
yeah.
So my beautiful one, May, and let me ask you this question. In your opinion, what is the biggest misconception people have about the power of their thoughts?
Oh, yeah. That they're not theirs, that it doesn't belong to them, because we're in such a blame matrix. Because of what happened in my childhood, because of what that person did to me, because of what the political arena is. My professor, I had a terrible experience with him in college. We all know what the human condition entails, but our thoughts are our own. And if we let in thought processes that disrupt our divinity, then we become corrupt. If we guard our thinking process with the same honor and reverence that we so intend to experience, whether it's through our religious beliefs, whether it's through a higher power, whether it's through a system, there has to be this really beautiful, genuine exchange. And so I think, I've said this many times, we become these walking algorithms of someone else's thinking, and we do. And sometimes, and most of the time, it's by default. We're little, we grow up in these environments with our family, our parents, our grandparents, our great grandparents never really truly did the work to heal the patterns that became the behaviors, that instilled the habits, that developed the personality, that became our experience. So I think, the power of thinking is yours. Own it. It is yours. Do not give it away. You can create whatever style of thinking you want to benefit the life that you want to experience. And don't let anybody sway you. Nobody.
I love it. And I want to do something else. My grandchildren bought this button for me. Every time I'm thinking about them, I can press the button. So I just, in honor of my grandsons and the love
Woo!
for children and the way that you have explained it, I want to thank
Yeah, I
you.
love that.
Beautiful, Laura. Howard, there is a comment if you want to read that, and then oh, it's you.
I was just I wanted a takeaway. I had to write it down. Own it. Own
Own
it.
it.
You're in control. Own it. That just it hit me. Own it. And you got the bell ring and everything as well. So it's important. So great power of love.
Power of love.
All it
I'm
takes is
trying
love.
to find this quote in the book, and I it's one of my favorite. And I'm so sorry for looking down because it's all right around there, and it conceptualizes it so beautifully. And it's one of the quotes that around the world people will reach out, and it becomes one of their favorite. But it's okay. Go ahead. Let's continue.
Over to Krista for that. How do you follow this up?
So that was fantastic. So now you should have done it 3 times, right? Because you're going to have a third. You have to honor all of them. Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
There we go. There we
Yes.
go. We had to bring all that energy right out to everybody. So one of the things, Laura, that not only do I love about you and the way you speak and your book is that we have so many things that we write about that are similar. So I have this, program, and I talk about weight. The first one stands for what am I thinking? And it really, really goes along with everything that you're saying. And when you get into that negative before the neutral, when you get into the negative, I like to say, what do I want to think instead? So if you can explain, I have heard this, but I think our viewers would really be empowered to hear you explain it in your words, how to change that mindset from the negative to even the neutral, and say maybe, what do I want to think instead? What is your way of doing that?
Yeah, that's a great question. They're all fabulous questions. I would simply ask people, do you want to remain tethered to the unhappiness, to the present program, to the present condition? And if you say yes, then we need to go into some coaching because why would we want to remain anchored to anything that is disrupting our peace, our happiness, our evolution, our advancement? And in that answer lies the work that an individual must do. And we can look at that in all different, levels. But I have, clients that you can hear their patterns, and I very quickly move them out. I will literally say, okay, so for the listening audience, think about something that's really been a weight on you. It's been a drag. It's just followed you around. No matter where you go, who you're with, you continue to show up in that state of mind. Now I want you to go forward and just suspend it. Suspend it. I don't care what you do. Get creative. Become the architect, become the designer, put it in a beautiful box, bury it in a gorgeous secret garden, fly it up to the moon. I don't care. Give it over to God. Do whatever you have to do. Suspend the pattern and now give yourself space and room and permission to create a life that is filled with happiness, with excitement, with joy, with reverence, with honor. It's not that every day is perfect. I meet people all around the world and they're like, oh my God, are you really this positive and this happy? Hell yes, I am. I create it by choice every single step of the way. And when something comes in that disrupts my flow, it's a marker for me. It's an indicator. So I look at it. What is the contrast here to teach me? Am I going back into a pattern? Am I being unforgiving? Am I lacking in compassion? Am I judging something? Am I bored? Am I just addicted to this thought process? I move through. I don't let it just be. I question it. I get curious. And then I really become brave and I decide to just blow right through it. I write about it in the Science of Empowerment. Go above it, go below it, go to the right, go to the left, dig a tunnel under it. I don't care. Get away from it. It serves no purpose to stay stuck in the quagmire. There's such an amazing life to live. Even if we're kind of going through some heavy stuff, there's still beauty and power in the human experience, and don't hold yourself at bay from it. So I really tell everyone, suspend the doubt and go for it anyways. And if the doubt creeps in, resuspend it. And I don't care, suspend it every day for the next year until all of a sudden you realize, why am I even suspending this? I don't need it. It does nothing for me. It just was a holding pattern so that I didn't have to move through the things that I'm insecure about, or I'm in fear of, or I don't think I have what it takes. Everything you want is right on the other side of that suspension. And I can say that with full authority and authenticity because I did it.
That's absolutely great. Especially, I mean, if I had that bell, I would have, pressed it. When you said about people get addicted to, their feelings and their thoughts,
Yeah.
and it's so true, especially in that victim role. That's what I find a lot. So by following your steps and what you said, it really kind of calls them out. And so, no, that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Laura.
You're welcome. And again, this is not to negate our true feelings, and it's not to dismiss the reality of what we're going through. It's not to really tether yourself to it. Just let things come in and you can be hurt and you can kick and scream and cry and you can go through all of it. That's the beauty and the power of the human emotions. However, if it's becoming a monkey on your back, if it's becoming the crutch, if it's becoming the reason that you are unhappy, that you are not moving forward, now that's where you got to shift it up.
Thank you,
That's great.
Krista. That was just to dig deeper into it. So I just want to, summarize that up, because we are all just a work in progress.
Yeah.
And this is not a formula that just says overnight you turn into Superman or Wonder Woman. It takes the work. You got to put the work in. And I will tell you that, because I know, these people very well. Sinette, weight loss and changing her whole mindset. She changed her life, but it took time. I've healed from cancer that I've been going through. It takes time. Rare disease, right? Twice, not once, twice. Okay. So, and Krista too, we all have our challenges. And as I said, and they are in life and in business and in health and in relationship, but we have this obligation to recharge ourselves. And the empowerment is emotional well-being, physical well-being. Sometimes it's financial well-being, and sometimes it's in relationships. And that's always a lot of the case. And there's more. And you define it. You're the definition of your life wheel. And this book just takes you through, and you have to pace accordingly. I just don't see overnight success happening in 48 hours. If you're putting the work in, you will see the results. And that's kind of really important. So my question, because I want to give a shout out, because we all have been brought together by our friends Robert Jones and Natalie McQueen, Buddy Thornton, and I'm just going to hold it up. We're now part of this Art of Connection. And this is where you, the listener, could be an author for one page. Put your thoughts down, and it's about abundance. So I actually would love for you, Laura, to tell us about how to achieve abundance in your life.
Yeah, it's actually what I contributed to the book. And it wasn't just about abundance of money, but I do want to just share this for a minute, the power quote, because I had to get it. It was just
Please,
itching it
please.
that way. What you allow to enter into your potential brilliance will be determined by what you are willing to keep out. So I want you to think about this. Yeah. Okay.
Ring the
Yeah.
bell. Ring the bell. Do something. Oh my. Wow.
Oh my God. Okay. So thank you for indulging me in that, because this is a
Wow.
power quote that goes around, because it isn't, it's just as important, the both sides of it, right? What you are willing to let in is as important as what you are willing to keep out. But now let's go to the empowerment of abundance. And this just wraps around so beautifully what we're talking about, the abundance of positive thinking. And again, this doesn't dismiss sadness and emotion. And when we're going through challenges, it means that you are in the power position, the power seat of choice, to acknowledge emotionality, but not be ruled by it, not let it become the master of every single experience. That you can, at your calling, move it. You can shift it, change it, whatever analogy anyone wants to use. If you're into boats, if you're into cars, if you're into the gardens, if you're into the cocoon and the butterfly, if you're into, oh my God, moving through diseases and near death, not once, but twice, and thriving and shining brightly. These are all beautiful examples of human beings right here showing what is not only possible, but really how it's done. So the abundance for me is how we think. The abundance is how we set up boundaries. The abundance is how we interact with humanity. The abundance of how we show up for ourselves and our family to change patterns, to actually ignite something new and more impactful and more on purpose. The monkey on the back. Oh my God, I just love Sinette. Yes. So even though that is absolutely adorable, but now we'll recalibrate whatever is on your back can actually become something cozy, something of security, something that builds confidence, something that actually creates the flow of abundance. So that's a perfect visual of it doesn't have to be a negative thing. But I really do think the empowerment of abundance is, again, it's our birthright. We should all be abundant. And that doesn't mean we fly on private jets and live in $60 million homes. Okay, that's that, opposite of it. It just means that if you are feeling that you are not experiencing what you know you should be, and that's a different thing for each person, that is the universe giving you an indicator for you to step up into your power, to step up into your creation of an abundant life full of love and happiness and great health and expression and curiosity, to architect, right? Here comes the architect. Here comes the engineer, the designer. You are not at a loss. You think you are, but you aren't. And you only think and feel you are because you've let the outside influence that beautiful part of you, your humanness. So the science of empowerment, Sinette, Krista, myself, we are here to remind you that you are amazing and brilliant and beautiful. You are on point and on purpose. And if you do not feel those things, now you can begin to design a thought system that helps support all of what you want to create and live a life of abundance, because we really should all be living that. And that's a different, again, that's a different perspective for each person, but we all know what it feels like when we are feeling abundant and when we're not. Use that flow, that in between state, as a contrast mechanism to elevate, and don't go back to it. Once you've got the contrast, you don't need to be reminded. You already know, you've been there. Stay up on top of your potential and your brilliance. Stay on it.
Wait, so I have to say, I want to tell you that. So what you just said, okay, is that take care of yourself, and then bring in the team. Building this transformation, this empowerment, this abundance can all be done for yourself, and then with your family members, with some business associates, with a group. So it can become a team sport, but it starts with you. It starts
Yeah.
with yourself. So for those that are only listening, Sinette, my dancing queen, just brought in a special guest who is with us now.
So this is Sunny,
Oh, hi,
and
Sunny.
Sunny is here on my back, but he wanted to say that he loves what Laura have said, and he's got a special message. So
Oh,
he will say, I'm going to take him off because he is almost like not letting me breathe properly. But Sunny wants to tell you, if you've got something on your back, you must give it to Jack. So do you know who's Jack? Do you know? Hit the road, Jack. I don't want you no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack.
That's so cool. That's such a fun way to bring levity and the simplicity of what we're talking about, even though there's complexity to it. If you have a monkey on your back, tell the monkey to go talk to Jack, and Jack will basically hit the road with the monkey. Suspend
beautiful.
the doubt, however you want to look at it. You are the person that makes the decisions. And if anybody is telling you differently, use that as your indicator. No, I will now exercise my own power, and I will begin to design a life of empowerment. And it doesn't matter what's happened a moment ago. I can't change it, but I can allow it to fuel me with positivity, higher intelligence, and a unique perspective that I can begin to change the things that were incorrect and course correct so that I actually live an abundant and empowered life.
Oh, Sunny's wearing the glasses now for those. Oh,
Well,
Sunny, thank you for your guest appearance. We're so
thank
glad you were
you.
here. But get hit the road, Jack. Yep. We love that. So now we only have a few minutes left, so we're going to do a little bit of a speed round. So, Krista, I'll hand it to you. If you have something quick to run by Laura.
Yes, really quickly, besides your brother or anybody on this panel, who do you look up to? Who do you think is empowering?
Oh, so I'm going to answer this in probably a way that may or may not make sense to other people, but I'm going to say the universal potential. God, divinity, a real high source that is resonating through everything, living and inanimate objects. I really do believe in the quantum field of energy. And I really think that there's a purpose and a power that is probably beyond our comprehension at this time, but that we all connect to something outside of ourselves, and that really is how I kind of move through my day.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
I love it. So the sources of energy can really vary. Taking a bite of an ice cream when you're really hot could just be wonderful energy, and that taste energy and the written energy and the voice energy. And I'm learning as a newbie to energy healing and energy living. So it's really so impressive. And again, I'm opening myself up to that. And I think that's one of the key messages, is that be open to that potential there. And I just want to say that you have such a believer in human potential for our ability to change. And it's just a beautiful thing. And I hope that you will touch more lives, as I know you will, and we will share that together. Sinette, I will leave you, of course, with the host with the last word.
Thank you. I was just typing 30 seconds, Howard.
I
So
know.
thank you so much. So, my beautiful ladies, Howard was an amazing host. Thank you
Woo!
so much, my
Absolutely.
beautiful Howard. And I wish you could have seen all of your faces when I sit down with the monkey.
Yeah.
It was priceless. I did take a photo for us. So, my beautiful viewers out on E360 and our guests, and then also some of the ladies on the Diamond Beauties and Tanzanite Heroes. Tomorrow, the Diamond Beauties is 3 years old. Can you believe it? 3 years old
Happy
for the group.
birthday.
Happy birthday,
Woohoo!
Diamond Beauties. Thank you so much for that. And then my beautiful Krista and Howard, thank you so much for your beautiful questions. And Laura, you are such an inspiration. You gave me so many goosebumps. So thank you so much for everything that you are doing out there. And yes, the power of love. If we were allowed to play that song, I would have loved to play it, but we're not allowed. So, my beautiful panelist and our spotlight author, will you have a dance with me?
Yes.
Of
Yes.
course.
My beautiful viewers out on E360, will you have a dance with us? They said yes, they said yes. Here we go.
Sunny, there we go.
Woo!
Walking on sunshine or dancing in the rain. Sprinkle me with fairy dust so I can fly away. Smiling at a moonbeam or squinting in the sun. Sprinkle me with fairy dust and cover me with love.
Bye bye, everyone. Bye
Butterflies
bye.
to